My dear friends, I have some very important and heartfelt news to share with you today. Just a few minutes ago, a decision was confirmed that could make a real difference in the lives of so many older Australians. The government, led by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, has approved a brand new $2,000 Centrelink payment for age pensioners. Yes, you heard that right, $2,000 in extra help, and it's coming directly for seniors who need it most. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. Is this real? Could this finally be the relief we've been waiting for? And I want you to listen carefully, because today's update is not just another rumour or political promise. This is an actual step forward, a real measure that could put money straight into your pocket at a time when every dollar truly matters. But before we dive into all the details, let me say this. If you care about staying informed on every update about pensions, benefits and financial help for seniors in Australia, please take a second to hit that subscribe button right now. Join our family here on this channel because I promise you that we're going to walk through these changes together, step by step, calmly, clearly, and in a way that makes sense for you and your loved ones. So why is this $2,000 payment so important? Let's be honest, life has become tougher in recent years. Prices at the supermarket keep going up. Electricity and gas bills arrive higher than ever. Petrol, rent, medications. It feels like no matter how careful we are with money, the costs just don't stop climbing. For pensioners who already live on a fixed income, the stress can feel unbearable. Some are even skipping meals, cutting back on heating in winter, or saying no to small joys like visiting friends or treating the grandkids. That's why today's announcement matters so deeply. This isn't just about money, it's about dignity, security, and knowing that the government has finally listened to the voices of seniors who have been calling out for help. The $2,000 payment may not solve every problem, but it represents hope, relief, and recognition of the struggles that age pensioners face every single day. In this video, we're going to carefully unpack everything: who qualifies for the payment, how and when it will be delivered, why it's happening now, and what it means for the future of the age pension. We'll also talk about how this fits into the bigger picture of Australia's cost of living crisis and why this payment could be a turning point for millions of seniors across the country. And I want you to know, I will explain this in plain, simple language. You don't need to be an economist or a politician to understand what's going on. This channel is about clarity, trust, and care. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of exactly what this payment means for you or someone you love. So, let's begin by looking at the heart of the announcement. What exactly is this $2,000 Centrelink payment, and how is it going to work? Now that we've set the stage, let's take a closer look at the details of this new $2,000 payment for age pensioners. Because I know many of you are already asking the same questions. Am I eligible? When will I get it? Do I have to apply, or will Centrelink send it automatically? These are the questions that matter most, so let's go through them, step by step. First of all, this payment is targeted directly at age pension recipients. That means if you are currently receiving the age pension through Centrelink, you are among the main group of people who qualify. The government has designed this payment as a one-off boost, something extra to provide urgent relief in the face of rising costs. Unlike some past measures, this is not a loan. It's not something you'll have to pay back, and it's not something that will reduce your existing pension. This is money on top of what you already receive. Secondly, many people want to know, is this for everyone or only for people below a certain income or asset threshold? The good news is that this payment is not restricted only to those on the lowest incomes. If you're already eligible for and receiving the age pension, then you are covered. Whether you're on a full pension or a part pension, the payment is expected to reach you. That inclusiveness is one of the most important parts of this decision. It means no one will be left out simply because they have small savings, or because they receive a reduced pension. Now let's talk about timing. The announcement confirms that the payment will roll out in the next few weeks, and Centrelink will handle it automatically. That's an important detail. You don't have to fill out long forms. You don't have to worry about missing out because you didn't apply. If you're already in the system and receiving the age pension, the payment will be sent directly to the bank account Centrelink has on file for you. For many seniors, that brings peace of mind. Nobody wants to battle through extra paperwork just to receive help they deserve. But why $2,000? Why not a smaller figure or a larger one? The government explained that this amount was chosen because it strikes a balance. It's large enough to make a meaningful difference, whether that means covering a few months of bills, paying off debt, or giving some breathing space for groceries and essentials. At the same time, it's small enough to be financially sustainable for the government's budget, especially during a time when they are trying to manage inflation and keep the economy steady. I also want to pause here and say something important. I know that for some of you, $2,000 might feel like a blessing, but for others it may feel like only a small drop in a very large bucket of needs. And that feeling is valid. No amount of money can completely erase the challenges many seniors are facing right now. But what this payment does is send a signal. It says, the voices of pensioners are being heard. The struggles of seniors are being recognised, and that recognition matters. For those wondering whether this payment will affect other benefits, such as rent assistance, concession cards, or any income-tested support, the answer is no. The $2,000 will be treated as a special one-off supplement. It does not count as income in the way regular earnings would, so it won't reduce other payments you rely on. This means you can receive it without worrying about losing something else. So, to summarise this part clearly, if you're receiving the age pension, full or part, you are eligible. The payment will be made automatically into your bank account. You won't need to apply, and it won't reduce any other benefits. It's a direct boost designed to give seniors some breathing room at a time when costs are higher than ever. In the next part, let's take a step back and ask why now. Why has this payment been approved at this particular moment? And what does it mean in the larger fight against the cost of living crisis that is hitting so many Australian households? Now that we've covered who qualifies and how the $2,000 payment will be delivered, it's time to look at the bigger question. Why now? Why has the government decided to approve this new support for age pensioners at this moment in time? The answer lies in one simple reality. The cost of living in Australia has risen to levels that are putting real pressure on everyday people, and seniors are among the hardest hit. Over the past few years, we've seen the price of almost everything climb higher and higher. Let's think about the basics. Groceries, power bills, petrol and rent. A basket of groceries that used to cost $50 is now closer to $80. A power bill that was once manageable is now hundreds of dollars higher each quarter. Petrol prices keep bouncing up and down, but rarely settle at levels that feel affordable. For seniors, who often rely on a fixed pension income, these increases aren't just inconvenient, they are overwhelming. This is why the $2,000 payment comes at such a critical moment. It is designed as an emergency cushion, a way to provide quick relief during a period when financial stress is at its peak. The government has acknowledged that while long-term solutions are being developed, such as pension indexation, energy subsidies, and healthcare reforms, people cannot wait forever. Seniors need help today, not in 5 years' time. Another important factor is inflation. Inflation has been running higher than usual, which means the cost of goods and services rises faster than incomes. Even though the age pension is adjusted twice a year to keep up with living costs, those adjustments don't always keep pace with the speed at which prices jump. Many pensioners have said that by the time an increase comes through, their expenses have already outstripped it. This one-off $2,000 payment is a way of catching up, of filling that painful gap. It's also worth noting that seniors are particularly vulnerable because they often cannot increase their income. A working-age person might be able to pick up extra hours at a job or take on side work. But for most pensioners, especially older Australians dealing with health challenges, that is simply not possible. That makes government support not just helpful, but essential. There is also a social and moral dimension to this decision. Many of today's pensioners have spent their lives working hard, raising families, paying taxes, and contributing to the growth of this country. They built the foundations on which the younger generation now stands. To see them struggling in retirement, worrying about whether they can afford fresh food or proper heating, is not just an economic issue, it's an issue of fairness and respect. The $2,000 payment is, in part, a recognition of that lifetime of contribution. Critics might ask, but doesn't giving out payments risk fueling more inflation? That is a fair question, and one the government has considered carefully. Their response is that targeted support, given directly to seniors, is different from across-the-board spending. Pensioners are more likely to use this money responsibly, paying bills, buying essentials, covering medical costs. It is not reckless spending, it is survival spending. And that makes it not only justified, but necessary. So when we put all this together, we can see why the timing matters. The payment is not random, and it is not political theatre. It comes as a direct response to the real struggles Australians are facing today, with seniors front and centre in that hardship. It is about giving dignity back to older Australians, ensuring they can live not with constant fear and stress, but with a measure of security. In the next part, we're going to explore what this $2,000 payment could mean in practical terms. How can it help pensioners directly? What kinds of expenses could it cover? And how might it change day-to-day life for seniors across the country? We've talked about what the $2,000 Centrelink payment is, who qualifies, how it works, and why the government has decided to act now. But the most important question is, what does it mean for you? For many age pensioners, $2,000 is not just a number on paper, it's a lifeline. Imagine, for a moment, the relief of being able to pay your next electricity bill without fear. Imagine walking into the supermarket and filling your trolley with fresh fruit, vegetables, and meat without having to carefully count every coin. Imagine booking that overdue doctor's appointment or buying the medication you've been putting off because the budget just wouldn't stretch. For some, it might mean catching up on rent, clearing an outstanding debt, or even saving a little for emergencies. This payment is not about luxury, it's about breathing room. It's about giving seniors the ability to live with dignity, without feeling the constant pinch of rising costs. It's about recognising the years of hard work, sacrifice and contribution that older Australians have given to this nation. For many, it will ease worry, reduce stress, and bring back a sense of stability that has been missing for far too long. But we also need to look forward. While the $2,000 payment is a welcome step, it cannot be the last. Australia's senior community deserves lasting solutions, stronger pensions, fairer indexation, better healthcare support, and policies that protect retirees from being left behind in a rapidly changing economy. This one-time payment is proof that change is possible, that governments can listen and act. Now, it's up to all of us to keep pushing for a future where older Australians are not just surviving, but living with comfort, respect, and peace of mind. So, as we close this video, I want to speak to you directly. If you are an age pensioner, know this: you are not forgotten. Your voice matters, your struggles matter, and your well-being matters. This $2,000 payment is not charity. It is recognition. It is the government saying, we see you, we hear you, and we are standing with you. Before you go, please remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. This is where we share the truth about pensions, benefits, and financial help for seniors, always in clear, simple language, always with care and respect. By subscribing, you're not just getting information, you're joining a family that looks out for one another. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for staying informed. Together, we'll continue to make sure that seniors across Australia are seen, supported, and celebrated. Until next time, take care of yourself, hold your head high, and know that better days are ahead.